Hi, welcome back to the Elliott and Aho Property Management 101 series. And today we're going to be talking about
After the property management docs are signed, the start of the process to move-in day, what to expect, how we operate. So generally, the first step in getting your home on the market is determining price. And that's something that we know is very important in this challenging market that we're in. It's super important that we have your home priced along the lines of what the market will bear. So we do the research to compare your home to other homes that have leased in the area, and we come up with a rental price so that way we can get your home rented in a reasonable amount of time. We know the importance of having your home sit on the market too long. Number one, you're losing money. Your listing becomes stale. People start to wonder what's wrong with it, why isn't it renting? So proper pricing will help draw that very narrow market of potential residents that we're trying to lure to your rental. If your home is not priced right, it doesn't matter, how nice your pictures look. It doesn't matter how many websites are on. It doesn't matter the virtual staging we do. Your people aren't going to call.
Let me ask you, Richard, how do we come up with our pricing?
Well, number one, we have our years of experience that we rely upon to make recommendations to our clients, but we have access to a huge database of rental comps to be able to review those, compare apples to apples, and then make recommendations. But we also use some software programs that help us to determine a value. We use that to just double check our work and make sure that we're pricing our home along the lines of what the market will bear.
Yes.
So again, pricing is very important. Like I was telling John, the things that we have to be focused on is doing everything correctly. And the big three things are marketing, pricing, and quality condition. Marketing is very important, like I mentioned. So, we provide high-level marketing to our clients. Can you tell some of the things that we do, John?
Yeah, we'll go out and we'll take some very high-end photography for you. When applicable, we'll do some drone shots. If there's a property on a lake or it's got a great little community, we're going to showcase the highlights of that community and of the home. We're going to go ahead and do a video walkthrough, produce a video walkthrough of the home so that we're helping it to stand out in any of the advertising that we do online.
Yeah, definitely. And little things like the video walkthrough, it helps for your home to come up higher in these websites' algorithms because they like to see all of these different features in the marketing. And when you don't have these features, you come up lower on the searches. And there are plenty of homes to choose from. And that's why it's important to check all those bases. Some other things that we've added to our marketing features is virtual staging. So we have many homes that are vacant, and there's nothing wrong necessarily with renting a vacant home, but it's important for the consumer to see what they can do with the space. So we use some top-of-the-line digital virtual staging program that helps us to put furniture and decor in a home so that way...
To give them a vision. Because sometimes people just don't have that vision to see what something can be when they're in there. So that just gives them that extra little flair for the listing. So that's something that we definitely do. Moving forward, after we're marketing the property, we're going to also have our inspection team go in there and do a pre-move-in inspection. And that pre-move-in inspection is going to help us identify things that may need to be done to the house that you may have overlooked, or items that just are liabilities that we need to make sure that we put them in order so that we're again reducing your liability. It's a huge risk for you if something's not right. What else do we do?
So, as part of that pre-move-in inspection, we're documenting your home's condition. This report that we are creating is going to be used for when your tenant vacates the home. That way we could properly hold them accountable for any damages or any wear and tear that exceeds acceptable wear and tear. We have to follow HUD guidelines, and we know all the laws and the ins and the outs of that. But this walkthrough inspection report will help to make things be as accurate as possible.
We're also going to identify things that should really function as they're designed, right? I mean, if you have a pocket door that is shutting off a room that maybe you lived with it in the home and it was okay for you in your circumstances, but if something's designed a certain way in your home, it should function properly. So we want to make sure that we're getting those things in order as well. A sliding glass door that needs to lock, and you just put a stick in it. Those things need to be fixed. They need to be in working order and tip-top shape so that we're presenting a high-end product for somebody that's going to pay top dollar.
Yeah, and good tenants care where they live. So this inspection report will help us to make sure things are right. We want to start off on the best foot possible with the tenant, and catching these items and addressing them at the beginning will help to make sure that the tenant's happy when they move in. and that will help to ensure longevity with the tenant staying in the property for an extended period of time. And when problems happen, tenants aren't thrilled about it, and people maybe I guess they get upset that things weren't taken care of, and that could ultimately impact how long they stay at your home. So, we want to make sure that we do everything possible so the tenants do stay in the home as long as possible. But
So we get somebody, we've got the pre-move-in inspection, we go over all these things that need to be done to the house. We get these things in order for the owner. We're presenting a great product. Now, what are we doing once we have the home on the market? We're advertising it, we're getting showings, or maybe we're not getting showings. What are we doing there? How are we going about our daily business with the owner relationship?
So we know that information and communication is critical. So with the market challenges that we have, we want to keep our owner clients informed. So we give our owner clients weekly updates. Every Friday, our leasing team will reach out to our owner clients to go over the week's activities. They're going to be telling you how many people inquired through various websites, how many of those inquiries turned into showings, any feedback from those showings. This is something that is very important for our owner clients to be aware, because we want to try and get your home rented in as timely manner as possible. And we tell our clients that you have to listen to the market. So we start off with getting showings, people going to look at the property. We know we're moving in the right direction, but sometimes we're not getting the interest we need. And the way to overcome that is, if you're starting off with a good product and you're marketing it right, the other variable is pricing. So we would make any recommendations as far as price adjustments to spur interest. And this is crucial in this really challenging market.
Very crucial, that you're heeding our advice, our years of experience. We want to make sure that we're pushing you in the right direction. I understand that sometimes, a rental price may not meet your expectations of what it should be because your taxes and your insurance have gone up this last year.
Everybody's has, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's causing your cost of out-of-pocket expense to be higher. But in some instances, like the current market that we're in now, the market has dropped a little bit to where we're having to drop the pricing a little bit from what it was the previous 2 years. So we're going to make, like Richard said, make recommendations to you, but we really stress that you adhere to our advice because of our boots on the ground every single day in this business.
Yeah, we rent dozens of homes every month, so we are very familiar with what the consumers are looking for. And the pricing and the quality of the home are crucial to be able to attract a quality tenant. There's a direct correlation between the quality of home you bring to market and the quality of tenant you're going to attract. People want a value, and we're competing for a very narrow market of quality tenants in Polk County or our surrounding markets as well. Let's see here.
So now we're at the point where we've marketed the home, we're getting our updates to our owners, we're starting to get those phone calls, and then we've got an application that comes in. How do we go about the application that we get from a tenant? How do we go about that?
So we have a fantastic website where tenants could put in their applications 24/7. In our screening process, we check for various qualifications. We have income requirements that the tenant must meet. We verify, rental history. We reach out to previous landlords to see how their experiences were with those tenants. If somebody has a track history of paying their bills on time, the likelihood of that good track history continuing is pretty good. But if somebody has a bad track history of paying their bills or being a bad tenant, that's likely to continue as well.
Let me ask you, so we have a tenant, the owner says, hey, I don't want any pets in the home, which is fine, which is typically a high percentage of
60% of tenants have pets.
So we should probably allow them under, certain guidelines, I guess you would say. But my question to you is, we've got a tenant that's interested in a house that doesn't allow pets, but they do have a emotional support animal or service animal. Can we deny that person?
So just because they have a service animal does not give them a carte blanche approval to rent from us. When it comes to a service animal, this is not a pet. So we cannot turn them down just because you don't allow pets. So it's crucial that we follow all fair housing laws, and we are experts in navigating those waters. If you don't do things correctly, you're going to open yourself up to liability, possibly some kind of legal ramifications. We know the laws, we know the rules, we play within them. Fair housing is very important to us. We want to be as transparent with the public as possible, so we follow the law to the letter to make sure that we're fair to our applicants, but we're also trying to find the best possible applicants Because we know that if we start with a good resident, a good applicant, we're gonna have the best outcomes down the road. And we recognize, and this is saying I say to a lot of our clients, that we know that we're going to sleep in the bed that we make with the tenant that we select. So it's to all of our benefit to start with a good quality tenant.
So going back to the pets, or not pets, but the service animals,
That's right.
right?
Can't
Service
use-
animals
can't
are
use-
emotional support animals, ESAs.
Not
How
pets.
how do we determine whether they're legitimate or not?
So we have a screening service that we use that verifies that it is in fact a legitimate service animal. And they have processes and checks to make sure that people are not trying to game the system by coming up with some fake service animal license or what have you. And they verify that it is in fact the breed that they say it is. We have breed restrictions on the type of animals that we will allow on the property. So they verify that it's in fact the correct breed. They verify that it has all the current vaccinations. The same way we screen the tenant, we screen the pet, and that way we could have the best results for our clients.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, and once we've screened the tenant, again, there's a whole process, and on our website, we have a list of items or a list of requirements the tenants must meet. And we know we want to be as transparent with the public as possible, so that way only the folks that would meet that requirements will apply.
So yeah, I think a testament to that is just following all of our HUD guidelines and our fair housing rules and laws.
And those change yearly, so we are constantly doing everything we can to keep pace with the ever-changing rules and laws, so that way we can get the best results for our owner clients.
All right, so now we've gotten to the point where we've screened the tenant, we've gotten past all of the possible hurdles that they had to overcome. We found that perfect tenant for the house. Now what are we doing? I know that we're making them an offer to rent the house, and then what happens after that?
So once we've selected the tenant and the tenant is on board to rent, we're gonna go ahead and prepare the lease. We have a fantastic leasing team that oversees the entire process of drawing up the lease. Our lease has all of the requirements that the law requires, and again, that changes it almost yearly, so we keep pace with all the local ordinances and standards, so that way we're in compliance and our owner clients are protected. But the lease is signed by the tenant. We would execute the lease on the owner's behalf. That's part of the authority of what you grant us as your property manager, to execute leases. We're gonna go ahead and collect the security deposit from the tenant. Generally a security deposit is equal to 1 month's rent. We oversee all aspects of the tenant's security deposit.
What happens now if we, make them the offer, we understand that, say, the rental is $2,500 a month, and we've asked them to come up with $2,500 to move in, plus $2,500 deposit, it's $5,000 plus their move-in expenses. Gets quite expensive, right? So is there any other ways to go about, like, deposits?
Yes, so we have deposit alternative programs, and this is where tenants could not pay a security deposit in the traditional sense, and that way they would be able to have a lower barrier of income to rent the property. So when the tenant moves in, they have the option to say, okay, I will not pay the security deposit, or, excuse me, the security deposit will be paid, but in a different form. So this security deposit alternatives, it gives various protections to the owner, equal to a security deposit, and in some circumstances even exceeds what a traditional security deposit would cover. But this alternatives that we offer is helping to get our homes rented right now, because of this cost barrier that the tenants have to get by. It lowers the amount of money that they have to pay to move into a property, which would help to get your home rented quicker. So that's as far as our deposit and our deposit alternatives. Now comes the day that I guess we've all been working towards, right? Move-in day. This is where the rubber's going to meet the road, where the people are going to move into your home. Can you talk on that, John?
Yeah, absolutely. That's an exciting day for most tenants, residents, as I should say. Most residents are excited to move in. We are going to schedule an appointment with them to meet them at the home, so that we can onboard the home to them. We're going to introduce them to the property. We're going to show them where the electrical panel's at. We're going to show them how to reset a GFCI breaker. We're going to show them if there's a garbage disposal, how to reset the garbage disposal.
Water shutoff.
Where the water shutoffs are in case of an emergency. We're gonna really introduce them to the home to make them feel comfortable. We're also gonna bring them a copy of their lease. I've got a little package here that I like. We give this to every tenant when they move in. We give them a nice little package that has a copy of their lease in it. It's got a drain cleaner for their sinks, just as a preventive maintenance type thing.
These tools are awesome.
We're gonna give them picture hangers, little command strip types hangers for their pictures. We know that moving in, Move-in day is, they might not have the ability to, cook something, so we'd give them a few snacks, some water bottles, and also some toilet paper. Because, when people are moving, it is sometimes difficult to have all those things unpacked or even think about those. So we want to make sure that we're starting that experience off in a very positive way and showing how thoughtful we can be to them. Because we want them to stay a while. We want to retain them as a tenant for as long as we can, because we know that how important that is to the overall success of managing your assets.
Yeah, and we started from the beginning of the process to move-in day. So, we have steps and processes that we focus on along the way so we can have consistent results for our clients. And we know the importance of having systems so that way things don't get missed. We cover every aspect of it. I mean, one thing that we didn't mention was we inventory garage door openers. So that way when the tenants move out, when they have to give it back to us, because we have something signed that they've received X amount of garage door openers, mailbox keys.
We're also providing them with the HOA documentation. If it's in an HOA, we're making sure we're following all those rules that the HOA requires. Maybe they require a deposit or a background check through that HOA. We're making sure we're getting all that stuff to them too.
Yeah.
So we're staying on top of all the requirements for that specific property.
Yeah, and like HOAs, we look at them as a partner. Oftentimes people don't look at HOAs in the best light, but they have common goals that we have. They want somebody who's going to be a good resident, somebody who's going to follow the rules and not cause any problems. So we definitely want the tenants to be fully aware of what they can and cannot do, and that just helps to eliminate those variables of a tenant not being aware of doing something they should have, and causing problems with the homeowners association. But this is our process, and we're glad to share it with you today.